I want to speak tonight from 2 Chronicles, the 33rd chapter, about a man that I think was probably more wicked, more terrible than Stalin or Hitler. And his name was Manasseh. He was the son of Hezekiah. And Hezekiah was one of the best kings that Judah or Israel ever had. He labored mightily for his country, brought reforms, and turned the people back to God. But then it came time for Hezekiah to die. And he prayed, "Oh God, don't let me die. Please, oh Lord, spare my life." So the Lord spared him for 15 years. And a few years later, in that 15-year period, was born Manasseh, who became the wickedest of all the kings. Some people lived too long. I know people now that I think would have died it'd been much better had they died earlier. That's right. But Hezekiah also opened the doors and showed all the treasures that Judah had to the Babylonians. And they came in later under Nebuchadnezzar and stole all that. They said, "We want the riches of Jerusalem and Judah," and they took it. But having lived a full life, the Lord had said to Hezekiah, "Set your house in order, for thou shalt die and not live." But Hezekiah would not accept the will of God. And so he turned to God and begged him to live. He refused to accept death, and he did not set his house in order. Yes, I think some people do live too long. Manasseh became king at the age of 12, and he set himself to undo all the good things that his father had accomplished. He was a very wicked man. The Bible says that he was guilty of some of the worst idolatry in the history of all of Israel or Judah. He set up gods everywhere, even in the temple of God, other gods where people worship. And idolatry is anything that comes between you and God. It's where self is preferred over God, so that all of us here can say in one sense we've been guilty at one time or another of idolatry. And God hates idolatry more than any other sin. And under the law of Moses, a man could be stoned to death for engaging in idolatry. Covetousness, the Bible says, is idolatry. If you covet, if you have greed, and it becomes a sin in your life, it can become idolatry. And when the Apostle Paul was walking around in Athens in his day, he looked at a city, the Bible says,